What's up guys, Bret here, and this is how I save 70% of my income, which I use to invest. And if you do this as well, you'll build up enough passive income to live off your money forever. Right, so I used to make some pretty stupid purchases back when I was in college, back when I was in uni, and this is all before I actually had any money coming in, other than my student loan. Some of the things that I bought and wish I hadn't include branded clothes. I actually bought a pair of Gucci trainers. I think I paid about £300 or £400 for them. I felt like such an idiot wearing them that I think I only wore them about 3 times. I also bought a Hugo Boss tailored suit. Another stupid purchase, but at least it still fits me to this day, so on a special occasion I can still wear it. But I think I paid about £1,000 for that. I've also paid for some stupidly expensive hotels in my time as well. I think the most expensive one I ever paid for was about £550, £600 for one night. It was a cliffside hotel in Santorini with an infinity pool, really nice views, don't get me wrong, but really bad value. Having done these things and regretted doing them, in this video I'm going to share with you why I don't spend money anymore and the things that I've stopped buying. You can call it being frugal, you can call it being money-minded, you can even call it being stingy, but seriously guys, it doesn't matter to me anymore because cutting back on my spending is one of the best things that I've ever done. So I try to save around 70% of my income. Obviously 100% would be really nice, and the end goal is to get as close to 100% as possible, obviously after living expenses. But because I now view money completely differently to how I used to, I now refuse to spend money on something that I know I can get cheaper elsewhere. There is obviously a limit to this though, because time is still more valuable than money. So say I was shopping in a supermarket for something and I saw that it was £5 cheaper down the road, I'm not going to abandon my trolley, get in the car, drive half an hour to that other shop just to save those £5. Or would I? Okay, no, I wouldn't, I promise, especially if I was with my wife, because she would probably kill me. Things that I do though include buying own brand products from supermarkets and things like that. So say there's a shampoo on the shelf, I'm always going to go for the cheapest one, never the branded one, and I'll probably use that shampoo as body wash as well, so I don't need to buy 2. I also get my wife to cut my hair now and then until it gets completely out of control. Then I go to the barbers, but when I can, I get her to do it just to save a few quid. I also never buy drinks in a restaurant because those drinks are marked up at least 100%. And more recently, I've even been filling up my hand sanitizer at every opportunity I have, even in public. Now, anyone can build wealth because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you spend, especially in the long run. Now, going back to my childhood, my parents always got me whatever I needed when I was a child, and I'm super thankful for that. But I also learned that money doesn't grow on trees. And I remember one Christmas, my parents got me a new bike. I was probably about 11 years old at the time. And when I actually opened it and saw it for the first time, I burst into tears. And I did that because I thought that it was so expensive and I just felt bad that they'd bought me this new bike. So as soon as I could, I got a part-time job. And my first part-time job was working as a waiter in a pub. I also did the same thing for a catering company, and I worked in the college canteen. The college that I attended, I worked in a canteen serving food and also washing dishes. I did this in front of my classmates, and sadly, no, I don't have a photo to prove it, but I really did, and I even wore Crocs as well. When I moved to London though, that's when it became apparent, and that's when I actually realized and was shocked by how much things actually cost. A beer in London these days is definitely going to set you back at least 6 or 7 quid. A ride on the London Underground is 3 quid, and those are just the cheap expenses. As well, people from the office when I used to work in London, at lunchtime on a Thursday, they might go for a few beers, or after work on Friday, they'd go for a few beers, and I was always that person who had an excuse or didn't want to go, and the main reason that I didn't want to go is because I didn't want to spend 30, 40, 50 quid, whatever it would be that night, on beers, just getting a beer belly. Okay, so now that I have a better understanding of how to actually manage my money, it makes the decision not to spend it so much easier. When you try to save money for the sake of saving money, it can be really hard, and it can be really hard to get the motivation. But when you set yourself a goal and a target, that's when the motivation really starts, or at least it did for me anyway. So for example, it was in 2014 that I started working in London, and although I didn't spend that 30 quid every week on beers, I didn't do anything else with that money either. I just left it in my savings account. However, if I had invested £30 a week, every week from 2014 into the S&P 500, it would now be worth £16,800. That's a £6,800 profit because I would have put £10,000 into it. And that, in a nutshell, is why I don't spend money, because of the opportunity cost. Now, my goal by the end of 2021 is to live off what my money makes me. And what I mean by that is I aim to have enough passive income from my investments to pay the bills. And guys, I'm not there just yet, so please consider subscribing to the channel to see how it turns out. Okay, so here's a few things I'm already doing in order to achieve this goal. And guys, as I said, I tried to save 70% of my income, and these are the things that I no longer buy. So number 1 is insurance that I do not need. And I'm not saying that insurance is a bad thing. I know it can be a lifesaver, and certain types of insurance are required by law, like car insurance, for example. And anyway, in August of 2019, I decided to quit my job and travel. And I traveled for around 7 months until COVID hit, and that's when I actually started this channel. But before I set off, I looked into travel insurance. And this is not something that I've had to do before, because unless you're doing extreme sports or winter sports or something like that, your normal travel insurance or your normal European health card will cover you for these things. But because I was going away for around 7 months, I had to look into this and I was so shocked by the price of it. I've also had cars in a few different countries and I always got the cheapest deal I could. And the companies that give these cheapest deals, they always tried to hard sell you on getting the extra insurance. But you do not need it. You can just go online, you can search for an even better insurance and get it for about a quarter of the price. Their insurance is always a ripoff. And actually my Revolut actually includes excess car hire insurance anyway, so I don't need to spend a penny on that. And obviously there's also life insurance, there's health insurance, any other kind of insurance that you can imagine. And depending on the country that you live in, depending on where you live, depends on how important it is to have those policies. However, I will say that the best type of insurance that I've come across anyway is a comprehensive one that you can get with a decent bank. That's what I've got and that covers me for basically everything I need. On top of that, I do pay for car insurance, I have house insurance, but I don't pay for insurance on my phone. All right, now the other way that I've stopped spending money is by not buying anything that's on sale, unless it's something that I actually need and I would have bought even if it wasn't on sale. This is now a general rule for me where if it's not something that I actually need, then it's a waste of money, even if it's 70, 80, 90% off. And these days, most shops always have something on sale. And that's because it's become a common strategy to actually maximize profits, not to save your wallet. Also, something that I've noticed is that good quality and valuable products are almost never on sale. Take Apple, for example. You never get 20% off a new iPhone when you buy the latest iPad. Another great way to avoid the impulse to buy in a sale is to never give a shop your email address. And whatever shops you already have emails coming in from, unsubscribe from them straight away. I never give my email when asked for it, and if it really comes down to having to give it, I'll just put a fake one in. And the reason for this is that email marketing is extremely profitable, and the chances are if a brand has your email, if they have your contact information, that's because they probably offer a service or a product that you'll be interested in. So these promo emails are very targeted to you. Now, over 293 billion emails were sent in 2019, every single day, and that's expected to increase to 347 billion by the end of 2022. Of those 293 billion emails, 9 out of 10, that's 90% of them, are marketing emails. And that's because the return on investment for marketing emails is ridiculous. Because for every $1 that you spend on email marketing, you can expect to get $42 back. So if you don't want to be exposed to these extremely powerful marketing strategies, and if you want to save money, seriously consider not giving your email away in the future. All right, now next up is clothes. I don't really buy new clothes anymore, but if I do, I buy good value ones, non-branded, and ones that I can wear with anything. My whole wardrobe is neutral colors, mostly black or white. I have a couple of t-shirts, a handful of shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of jeans, 1 pair of trainers, and 1 pair of 7-year-old flip-flops. I know that some people say buying more expensive quality products is more economical in the long run, but I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't think that more expensive clothes are necessarily better quality. My favorite shop is Uniqlo, and I can go there and easily buy a t-shirt for about 10 quid. I can get a shirt for 12 pounds. Now, the internet is obviously a place where a lot of clothing shopping happens. And in 2018, 1.8 billion people shopped online. And around 50% of consumers actually make purchases on their phone these days versus in the shop. And that goes back to email marketing again and just shows how powerful it is. As well though, with the growth of Amazon and Shopify, it's not really surprising. And another thing that I do to reduce my spending is that I don't use Apple Pay, I don't use any other e-wallet or anything like that, so that if I forget my wallet when I'm going out, I can't spend money. And just that temptation isn't there. All right then, paid apps are another thing that I no longer spend any money on. I fell for this one so many times before, now I do not. It's so easy sometimes when it's an app that you think you like or you think that you might like, but you got to pay for it to figure out. It's £2 a week or £3 a week or maybe even £2 or £3 a month. That's just nothing, right? People just do it. But this can actually add up because if 900 people gave me £2 a week for 1 year, at the end of the year, I'd have £100,000. And that's like 3 times the average salary. So I've cleared my phone of any ongoing app subscriptions that I had. And actually when I went to do it, I was shocked by the amount that I had there. Most of them I didn't even know I had. Most of them I didn't even use. I'm not saying that all of these monthly subscription services are bad. I do still pay for some. Adobe Creative Cloud is obviously one that I pay for because I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Lightroom to edit photos, to edit videos basically daily. Another thing that I've stopped paying for is a mobile phone contract. And I stopped paying for this years ago because if you work it out, it's never worth getting a contract over just buying that phone outright. And if you can't afford to buy that phone outright, don't stretch yourself by paying more every month. There are some amazing SIM-only deals out there these days. I pay £10 a month right now. I get unlimited text, unlimited calls, and unlimited data as well. It's a SIM-only 24-month contract, and at the minute it's £10 a month. At some point, I can't remember when, it goes up to £20, and for the duration of that 24-month period. Now this way as well, whenever a new phone comes out, you're not tempted to upgrade for an extra £5 a month. And these days, new phones come out so often. Every year there's a new phone coming out, and they're just not that different investment. You don't really need to upgrade every year. And other things that I don't spend money on anymore include going shopping when I'm hungry, cable TV, or in the UK, Sky TV, coffee, random presents. We have this agreement that we don't randomly buy each other flowers, or I guess I'd be the one buying flowers, but we don't randomly buy each other stupid presents on Valentine's Day and things like that, because it's just a waste of money. Why should we do that just because everyone else is doing it, right? Now lastly, and this one's a bit of a wild card, but I mentioned that in 2019, I started traveling. I quit my job and I went traveling. And at that time, I started an Instagram account. If you want to go check it out, I'll put the link down in the description, but it gained some sort of traction. Anyway, the point here is that there's some perks to this, in that sometimes I get to work with brands, sometimes on paid partnerships, and sometimes for free. Well, actually nothing is ever for free, right? But sometimes they'll provide products for me to do a review, product photography, or post it on our Instagram account. This is really cool because if there's something that I need and would otherwise be spending money on, sometimes I can reach out to a brand and we can discuss a partnership. And then sometimes I can get that product for free, or sometimes I even get paid to get that product, which is really cool. Depending on the product though, I don't always post about it online because I don't want to be pushing products that I don't believe in. Anyway, the point here is that anyone can start a social media account, literally anyone, and it can lead to working with brands and saving you money, maybe even making you money as well. Right then guys, that is how I save 70% of my income, and those are the things that I no longer buy. It really doesn't matter how much you earn, it's all about setting yourself a savings goal and sticking to it. And the best way to do this is that when you get paid, the first thing you should do is put however much money you want to save. So say you want to save 50%, 60, or even 70 like me, put that money aside first, and then the remainder of the money that you've got left, that's how much you've got to spend. Because if you don't do that and you receive your money every month or every week, whatever it may be, you go about spending it with the idea of saving but not actually putting it aside, chances are at the end of the month when you look back, you'll have spent more than you wanted to. All right then guys, thanks for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed, please consider scrolling down, hitting that subscribe button, maybe give this video a like as well if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.